Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News with me, Katira King. My next guest is the founder and managing consultant of Franchise Business Development Services, which is a pioneer franchise development company in Nigeria, representing World Franchise Associates and advancing the development of the Nigerian franchise industry. Chiagozie Nwizu is an international franchise development consultant, SME advisor, enterprise builder, and development projects professional. And he's here to impart some knowledge on the morning show today. Welcome, Chiagozie. How are you?
I'm very well, Controller.
I don't think I've ever said the word franchise so many times in my life.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, what does it mean to franchise a company?
Okay, so franchising is, a business has to build a sustainable business system.
Right.
And gives an opportunity to some other entity or individual to leverage that system to own their own business.
Right.
Okay, so that's in a nutshell what it's all about.
I see. So how would you say that it works then? If you were to give me a step-by-step analysis as to how the business of franchising works, what would that be?
Okay, franchising, basically, there has to be an entrepreneur who has been able to build a sustainable business system, like I said, and has been able to prove that that is sustainable by the success stories, the number of network business locations, and all that, among other things. And this business has to be ready to franchise by having the systems and support, in place to be able to help another entrepreneur who is coming in to buy a franchise. And by buying a franchise, he's given a right to operate, same business at some other location. And this franchise buyer, who is called a franchisee, is given support by the franchisor, right, in setting up the business and hand-holding him to, run the business to become as successful as the original model has been.
So how profitable would you say it is for a budding entrepreneur to get involved in franchising?
Right, so we have global statistics all over. Globally, the franchising business model records over 85% success rate.
Wow.
In South Africa, it's about 95% success rate. Now you compare that with our startups we have here in Nigeria, over 80%.
Like a 20% startup.
Over 80% of them fail within a short while. So it's not just profitable; it is sustainable. We pride ourselves in Nigeria as an entrepreneurial economy with about 37 million micro, small, and medium-scale enterprises.
We talk about this every Monday because not everybody's cut out to be an entrepreneur. This is the thing that people don't understand. Sometimes it is suited to your fate to be an entrepreneur, to build businesses.
That's it. So, but we don't see the other end, which is about the failure, the very massive failure that we experience. And that's why we talk about franchising. Yeah, it's not everybody that should be a business builder.
Yes.
Some people don't have what it takes.
Absolutely.
What they should be doing is to go and buy off businesses. Actually, they are buying the system that is proven.
Right.
So that we can reduce the
you don't have to think and you can just make money.
That is it.
Now, last year, you actually, what am I trying to say? You produced a report on franchising in Nigeria, the Nigerian report. Tell me about that.
Okay, so while we were working on this, it was so nice that DFID, through its program called PDF Nigeria, called on us to conduct a study, a nationwide study on franchising, as a proof of concept. Why so? Because in several other economies, franchising has been, proven as a model that had been leveraged to help the SME space, the MSME space, to thrive and, reduce, business failure. Also, talk about access to finance and all that. So we conducted that study and, we went across the 6 geopolitical zone of the country, talking to different stakeholders, to franchisors, franchisees, enablers, consulting firms, the financial institutions, local and international agencies, the government bodies, and all the rest of them, to find out the state of franchising in Nigeria and the opportunities, also identify what the challenges are, so that we will be able to profile solution simply so that Nigeria can replicate the success that these other economies, like the United States, South Africa, India, and some other emerging economies like Nigeria, have been able to produce through franchising. So it was a successful one because we were able to benchmark Nigeria, because we are an emerging, our franchise industry is just growing at its basics. So we're able to find out what these other countries did, and we are just trying to, take same steps so we can replicate same success.
Right.
So today, fast forward, a lot has been achieved. We've had a lot of local brands who have started franchising today. We have the government supporting in different ways. We have a franchise bill that is being passed to law.
Oh, wow.
We have financial institutions that are
What does the franchise bill state?
So the franchise bill is, based on the recommendations from the findings to put policies in place that can help foreign brands to come into Nigeria to franchise, that can help to encourage local brands to franchise. We have issues, a lot of issues like, what's it called, dispute, resolution and all that. Okay. Yeah. So, so we recommended basically how these things can be taken care of in the policies, in the franchise bill.
So based on the report, what would you say the current status of Nigeria is in relation to franchising?
Okay, so we have a very huge, potential. We see an industry that has a potential for over 100 billion US dollars in turnover.
Right.
We also see some other potentials that there are about 450,000 people that have investable funds sitting in their bank accounts, who could use them to buy franchises. We have career people who probably would have liked to have a plan B, or who are probably not enjoying their jobs and they would like to own their businesses. Right. So there are a lot of that we saw. We saw also a lot of local brands that are franchisable, who, when we met, we were saying, hey, this is something we've been looking forward to doing, but we've not really had so much of the encouragement through an enabling environment. Right. So hopefully in the next 5 years, Nigerian economy Nigeria should be competing with South Africa. Ooh. That makes about 12.5% of the GDP of South Africa is earned through franchising. Okay. And you have about 850 different franchise models. I'm talking about respective business models that are franchising. Right. And we will be able to catch up much faster because we are benchmarking what has taken them several years to achieve. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so in terms of, because you mentioned people having money in their bank accounts that they can use to create franchisable businesses, or purchase a business to, that's a franchise business. Now, what are some of the challenges that a person like that might face? So I have the money, I'm able to invest it in a franchisable business. What kind of barriers to entry do you foresee me coming up against?
Okay, I wouldn't really call that barrier to entry. A key thing still from that study we found out is that there is very low awareness. People don't know much about franchising in Nigeria. And we are doing a lot. We are having what we call franchise matchmaking forums. Different. And we have upcoming franchise exhibitions and expos that we are going to be holding. And so every now and then we partner with some other platforms to let people know about the gains of franchising. Franchising make things pretty easy, and let me explain. And which is why I'm actually going to explain why there is low entry barrier, if there is any, to franchising compared to a startup. Okay. So now franchising is like, I can see the nice outfit you are putting on. Yes,
why, thank you. Thank you for noticing.
I don't know whether it was made to fit or whether you had to go and, get it from a boutique.
No, I purchased it. It was just like this.
Fantastic.
Off the rack.
That's a very good example. Okay. Okay, so now imagine you wanted to have something like this and you had to go to get the material from the market, and you are thinking, who on earth can make it the way I want it? And, many things can go wrong in that process, and the tailor can finish making it doesn't look good and all that. Compare that to just walking into a boutique and you see this nice outfit, you pick it, go test it out, and it looks perfectly okay on you.
So
and you
that,
pay
let me
and
guess,
walk out.
my Accra degrees are a franchisable business model?
Yeah, but it helps us to explain this. So that compares to an entrepreneur who sees businesses, from the perspective of, I want to write a business plan. Oh, what out of millions of business ideas, which one will it be? How do I get support from the bank? How do I get started without experience? And that is exactly why, because of this lack of capacity, we have so many failures, business failures, in Nigeria. So franchising is, we have a host of brands across different industries. For example, House of Tara is a beauty and makeup franchise brand. It could be a food business. It can be Frenzy Yogurt. It could be TFC. It could be
along the lines of House of Tara. Tell me about some of the most successful franchised businesses in Nigeria, Nigerian-owned businesses.
Okay, so we are very proud of the success story of House of Tara. Yeah, because remember that we have this culture in Nigeria. Our people are not very keen about building capacity, right? So but there are a few local brands who the owners, had taken time to invest, a whole lot in both the systems and the structures. And you could experience the business as a global or world-class brand. So that's what the likes of House of Tara, has done. We also have a brand we call Best Choice.
Yes, of course.
And Best Choice is a neighborhood store. It's built, established in Nigeria, and they have about 230, outlets.
That's amazing.
Today.
I didn't even know it was a Nigerian brand, much less than all the outlets are franchised.
The owners are Indians, but the brand was all set up here, so we call it a Nigerian brand. Yeah, so there are a couple of other ones that are, coming up in the pipeline. We have, about 25 to 30 local brands that we are working today at different levels, for them to franchise, their businesses. Then we also have foreign brands that we are working to bring into the country. That is the relationship we have with World Franchise Associates. So you can literally look out for any brand out there that you are interested in bringing to Nigeria.
So if I wanted to bring McDonald's to Nigeria,
what did you call that?
If I wanted to bring McDonald's to Nigeria, I could do that via you.
Well, we can work with you to do that.
Amazing. So in terms of predictions for the future, where do you see the business of franchising going for Nigeria and for Africa as a whole?
Okay, so I'm going to put that this way. Franchising is so, the prospect of franchising in Nigeria is so tremendous, and that it's so relevant to all the stakeholders in the SME sector. So I'm going to take them one after the other. The government needs businesses that are thriving, for them to be able to generate revenues. We are an SME, driven economy. It's not oil and gas that is driving our economy. The entrepreneurs, they want to be able to set up businesses that are going to, not only, stay over time, but also be able to return them. They can get revenues, returns from the business. Financial institutions, they want to lend funds to entrepreneurs that will be able to pay back their capital and, the interest. Talk about employment. People want to work with business entities that can guarantee them, job security. So all these things are around the idea.
So it's always a business ecosystem that can and will be built with successful franchising.
That is it. So what we are saying is that we've had a lot of failure among startup businesses in Nigeria. We can choose to continue to try to do the damage control when people have started businesses at the wrong footing, and then we are trying to help them to manage. And then we can also direct people to say, hey, why not think about buying a franchise? There are people that have built these businesses. Their brands are super. They are doing well. You go and own one of their franchises and save yourself all that. So when we have, when we leverage franchising to venture into businesses, it helps us to have less business failure. And then all these, stakeholders we have in the SME ecosystem are able to get value. So every bank we talk to today are like, wow, we've looked at our records and we've seen that the franchise businesses that we are banking, that their rate of, loan performance has been, way, better
Supersedes
than
SMEs.
startups.
Yeah.
You see, so that's what we're working on today. The other day we were at South Africa talking to the leaders in the franchise industry,
Right.
and we are looking at bringing in about 200 franchise brands into Nigeria, okay, so that people can have a wider variety of brands for them to buy into.
Amazing. Now, I'm sure you and I could sit down here and talk about franchising all day because we all know I like money. But we have to go for a break. I'm going to see you later on in the show because we're continuing this discussion.
Right.
You're one of my panel of experts.
Thank you. Yeah.
That is all from Chiagozie for now, as it's time for a short break on The Morning Show. Stay tuned, as when we return, it's time for Our Take. Don't go away.